Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Hope all is well in your world. All right, let's get over here today. Today is the 24th. Today's the 24th. What we have here is Cancer is our sign for today. Okay. Cancer is our sun sign for today. Our moon sign and our sun sign, as it changed over yesterday, is Scorpio. So today we have a Scorpio sun and a Cancer moon. Both of those are water signs, so there's a lot of emotions going on out there. Okay, a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of water. Okay, and so with water, you just have to learn how to swim, basically. We've got a sign down here later tonight. We have a square between this moon sign Cancer and the sign here, which is Uranus. Unexpected changes, ingenious ideas, ingenuity, things of this nature. So there's a square, a block or something later between our emotions and this sudden burst of inspiration, perhaps. So with all of these things, with that going on, there's an opportunity for a great lesson. Our emotions could be a big key in how we get past what we're getting past. So we have to learn with our emotions. The card of the symbol of Cancer is represented in the tarot card by the card of the Charioteer, which is all about putting on one's armor to protect oneself from the emotional blows of the universe so that one can move through life. Because otherwise, if one just gets hit with all of the emotions and we just start going crazy from them, we're not going to get anything done. So that's why it's important. So there's like an opportunity later. It's a challenge some sort. 6:09 p.m. Pacific time is when this aspect takes place. So later this evening, just see how it plays out. What kind of challenge, what sort of opportunity comes from that challenge, once you are able to get through those emotions. Now we go here to the moon phase. 72% of the way full, making its way back down to the new moon. Over here at the Mayan Oracle, today's a 7-tone day. 7-tone symbol is the wizard. Kin is the world bridger. That makes today the white resonant wizard, guided by the world bridger. Say that 5 times fast. And the phrase for today is I channel in order to enchant, inspiring receptivity. I seal the output of timelessness with the resonant tone of attunement. I am guided by the power of death. Alright. Moving on from there. We look at our solar wind, 340.0 kilometers per second, about the same as yesterday, roughly. Planetary K-index is quiet as a 1. Not much in the way of coronal holes. A little bit of something here, but nothing really significant. And we look at our M-class flare. We're up to 40% now, so that's jumped up 10% from yesterday. X-class is about the same. Geomagnetic storm activity is picked up. If you're in the high latitudes, you got a chance for some sort of activity in the sky. So have your camera ready. You might see some nice auroras. And for a little bit more insight, here is Suspicious Observers Report for today.
Good morning, folks. On the heels of the potential explosion of C-2012 X1 Linear, questions have been raised and they merit an answer. Could this happen to ISON? What are the implications if it does? First, this can theoretically happen to any comet at any time, but the approach to the Sun causing runaway internal effects is your best bet. Our meteorite concerns are almost gone, and were from a breakup of ISON long before 1 AU so that debris could spread fast enough. But if Comet ISON were to explode today, it's just 1 week from crossing a bit north of Earth's exact mid-January trajectory. Not the time to be having bits flying everywhere. Now that scenario is highly unlikely, but if you're examining the possibilities, add that to the monopolar solar wind exposure brightening predictions and the flare induction potential, at least for the next 7 days. Starwater article here, describing how both oxygen and water-rich atmospheres are possible for hot Neptunes. Website members who have caught both episodes of Starwater know why the first one almost certainly leads to the second. Coming to RSOE for recommendations to keep informed, Australian bushfires stretch a vast distance, threatening property and at times life, worth keeping up to date. We've also had a few nuclear issues in the last 24 hours. Slovenia Rod event is disconcerting, while the UK probably had the least significant of the events. Gallons of radioactive water leaked back across the pond. It's easy to focus south of Japan at the tropical tracks, but there is a storm just sitting over India, not budging, and the flood risk is backbuilding with cyclone memories still fresh there. Coming to the Americas, top flood zones Acapulco. Hurricane Raymond got stuck there before heading out to sea last night. Dropped quite a bit. Coming back to look at the West Pacific tropical tracks, both look big, but again, slated to swing hard away from Japan. You remember the M4 solar flare reported yesterday? Well, NASA confirmed it produced an Earth-directed CME, and that makes 4 you should notice on NOAA's multi-shock spiral. First supposed to hit today, and perhaps that's what we're seeing with the high-density readings on the ACE solar wind telemetry. Impact analysis will be important over the next few days. Now, when making the evening news last night, another flare, an M2, directly Earth-facing, so I went out on a limb to say we now had 5 CMEs, with only the last one not on NOAA's Enlil spiral. The evening news was ready at 7 p.m. my time, 2300 UTC, and I went on a limb increasing the likelihood of X flares based on those sunspots. Boom. Can't claim to have called an X flare. We peaked at M9.3. It was still a major event causing temporary signal degradation at Earth. These sunspots Earth-facing are probably the best of the year so far in terms of visual intensity, and I'm counting a number of delta spots capable of major flaring on both the active regions. We have calmed slightly, but we already had another M flare this morning. It's not going to stop immediately. We got more sunspots sneaking over the eastern limb. Coronal holes are not terribly strong or visible on the Earth-facing disk. The northern group is the strongest Earth-facing opening. You can see B hasn't crested onto the other side of this chart yet. Moderate power, space weather impacts to begin soon, with the bigger ones on the way to complement Mars having geocentrically opposed Neptune, and the near Mercury, Saturn, Sun conjunctions to come in the following days. Shots of our star to close. Eyes open. No fear, it's 6:45 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.
Alright, very good. Moving right along. Alright, today I want to do some updates on ISON. A little bit more insight. So I've got a couple of pieces here, Thor News pieces, shorter. And so I'm going to go ahead and play these because this is really good information and keeps us really good updated on what's going on with ISON. Here we go.
This is a Thor News presentation.
Thor News presents. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have new Hubble photographs that are hot off the presses. The folks at Hubble Hangout, Albert, Bonnie, Jeanne, Zolt, Tony, Max, and Alberto, were cool enough to put up all these images and show them to us. Now I'm going to show all these without much fanfare. I'm glad to have NASA back. They give me a lot of good images. And thanks to the Hubble itself. If you were a woman, I'd marry you, Hubble. They did mention that the anti-tail, the jet rink, a rose by any other name is still a rose, is not showing anymore in any of these photographs, which is quite interesting. They said the photographs also show that it is not breaking up like a lot of people have said, or it doesn't appear to have the 8-piece nucleus nucleus that others have talked about. I'm just glad to have these. I'm putting this up for you. It's pretty quick. I'm going to let you look at them. I'm sure we'll break them down in the near future. I'd like to hear y'all's thoughts. It's leaning more towards not being the comet of the century, but also not being doomy. Man, I just hope it's a beautiful, fantastic, awesome thing. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be spectacular. I want to have Comet ISON parties with dancing, and drinking, and guitars and fun. Don't you? Alright. And remember I always say that doom is always in economics. And man, I sure am glad that there wasn't a total economic collapse today. Like I was convinced it was going to happen if we were going to default, man. We were going to default today alone on $120 billion worth of 30-year treasury bills, 10-year treasury bills, 5-year treasury bills, 2-year treasury bills, 1-year treasury bill. Wouldn't it be so cool to be able to write a check and be like, yeah, you can cash this check 30 years from now. Yeah, man, I'd probably get in trouble with those. Anyway, just thought I'd put up all the new info for you. Like I said, this is hot off the presses. Don't put both hands on it. You might get burned. Alright, peace out. Thanks for sticking around. Don't worry, I'll have another one of my super cool, super funny, super awesome, super informative, super troll magnety Comet C2012 S1 ISON WTF NASA Earth people out soon. Alright, God bless.
Alright, here comes that other one right here.
This is a Thor News presentation.
Thor News presents Comet C2012 S1 ISON and WTF Earth.
Seriously, bro.
Part 39. All the facts. Baby. Asterisk? Wait, the asterisk is supposed to go behind facts, not baby. Alright, this one is going to be short and sweet and sports bra jam-packed with facts. Asterisk. Good day, sir and ma'ams. We are well beyond the "this joker is wild" and snafu bar atoll. I'm just going to give you a basic rundown of the facts as I understand them since I took my 1-week stay in the Fortress of Solitude. Fact, asterisk, number 1. ISON is still intact. Comet ISON is still intact. Number 2. ISON is traveling at a speed of. Number 3. ISON is still on its projected and predicted orbit and trajectory. 4. ISON, the holiday comet, is green and turning red. 5. NASA is back in action. 6. Comet ISON is rotating on one pole/axis. WTF? Number 7. The jet rank anti-tail disappeared and then came back. WTF? Asterisk. 8. Wiki is calling it the Nevsky and Novakokonik Comet. 9. NASA and science often say some crazy shit. Quote, we don't know what it will do. Unquote. Quote, comets are like cats, unpredictable. Unquote. Quote, Comet ISON is 100% harmless to Earth and people. Unquote. 10. This story is a G-man nihilist / troll magnet. There you go. All the facts, asterisk, simplified and de-thored as much as I could for you. Back to the one. ISON is still intact. So there's that. The potential comet of the century has not fallen apart. That's good to know. ISON's basic non-brightening since discovery led most of the astronomers at the NASA Comet ISON observing campaign to guess that it wouldn't last to perihelion and would probably fizzle out and break up. Well, their bets have now 10-toed the edge of crapping out. ISON has not gone bust yet. But who really knows, you know? When I've seen some photos, it seems like it's in a couple pieces. NASA's photographs do look uniform, clean, and layered to fit a model that we've been sold. And to be honest, I mentioned it months ago that if John Boehner, Nancy Pelosi, and Barack Obama and their quote-unquote advisors who helped them figure out what to do are running the show at NASA. So honestly, swear to God, who really knows? And Fukushima. 2. Comet ISON's trajectory has changed. No, it won't hit Earth. And apparently earlier this week some yellow journalism online Russian satire rag published an article stating that ISON's orbit had been changed by Mars, and now we were foobarred. Or in the near future anyways. Earth, that is. Then Astro on the Godlike Productions published a debunk of that article. It kind of felt like the 2013's remake of Rocky IV if Kanye West played Sylvester Stallone and Kim Kardashian played Drago. So I go back to the who knows. It takes a miracle to surprise me these days. Early on, I argued against the 100% calculator boys that no matter what ISON's path from outer to inner solar system to around the sun and out again would change. Even if it was 0.0000001, it would still be a change, right? Well, apparently, an Astro confirms this. It has changed 0.00000, like 58. They're saying that's not really a change, but that is a change. Asterisk.
Well, y'all, that'll wrap it up. Another fine episode. Don't worry, the weekend is almost here. And in my next video, I will pontificate, extrapolate, and marmalade-alate on these 10 factoids. Back to purposes. Yeah, don't worry. I'm okay. Okay, +1. Rock on. Crazy. Alright, this one is going to be short.
When I started this series, what I really wanted was the greatest comet I've ever seen in my life and a good girlfriend to watch it and contemplate its mysteries with. What I ended up with was a rabbit hole that goes way too deep and a billion nihilists, trolls, and garbage hearts and 100 good astonishers. And I don't know what the hell is going on. Snafu bar squared. +1. And if you don't get it, let it go. Thank you. Good day, sir. And ma'ams. We are well beyond the This Joker is Wild and Snafu Bar Atoll.
Alright, this one is going to be short and sweet and jam-packed with sports bra facts. No, that's not true, dude. It's not. Okay, I've mixed up the thingies. Marmalade-alate? The dice are rolling on the table.
There you have it. Thor News. Information on Comet ISON and only the way that Thor News does it. Very entertaining indeed. Alright, UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Alright, Dirk, thank you very much. Today I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories. Story number 1. Alright, this is a video I found the other day. I want you to see what you think of this video, if you think this is real or not. But this is a sighting that these gentlemen had. Okay. Back again so you can see it. It happens real quick. See that right there? That's the object they are seeing. So the question is this a CGI graphic? Or is this truly a UFO? And with the technologies out there today, software related, it's hard to tell. But these two guys seem kind of excited about what they're seeing. Which makes me think that there's something about Alright, that's number 1. Next, we're going to move over here. This is a UFO activity over Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And what we have here is, as we can see, I'm really not seeing too much right at the moment. It's a 2-minute, 25-second video. Let me see if I can move forward to where the object is. Certainly much easier to see when you blow up the screen, but I'm not able to do that at the moment while I'm showing you all this. You can see him very faint right in here. You can see him just kind of moving across. A little bit of pixelations it looks like. Just like very, very faint white. Right? So that's that one there. We have a couple others down here. There's some orbs going through some maneuvers. You can see this one a little better. See that there at the bottom. This is almost 2 minutes, 1 minute 49 seconds. Alright, let's move from there over to the next story here. This is from UFO Digest, UFO emerges from foggy Seattle skyline. The picture captures the incredible moment a UFO hovers over Seattle, U.S., emerging from the midst of an unmistakable outline of a saucer floating on the urban skyline. Okay, maybe it isn't the unusual cloud formation around the iconic Space Needle building appearing to reveal an alien ship in the sky. Andy Fraze captured the sight in the mobile phone out of his office window in a misty morning. The electrical engineer from Seattle was amazed to see the familiar view transformed into a scene of a sci-fi film. I brought this up because even though this isn't necessarily a UFO, it's kind of intriguing, and for someone to look up, they might think that at first sight because you're not seeing the whole tower here. Okay? And remember the, what was it? One of the Men in Black movies? Remember they had the thing took off? Wouldn't that be amazing if that ended up being a UFO? Alright, this here is something we should pay attention to, see what happens here. Just want to remind you, this was Dr. Richard Boylan who said today, on the 24th, a multinational mothership will hover below 2,000 feet over Cleveland for 4 days. Okay, so we want to pay attention to what's going to go on in Cleveland today, see if this thing does come to pass. It'd be quite fascinating if that was the case. But what he said was that they were going to hover for 4 days, and on the 27th, that they would come down and walk into Cleveland Public Square, greet humans, and then return home. Okay, starting this United Nations Day, October 24th, and for 3 more days, the Star Nation mothership will hover over lower Cleveland's Ohio Public Square. It'll be quite large, about 2 miles long and 1/8 of a mile wide, so you certainly won't be able to miss that. And he says on Sunday the 27th, Estiacan Councilor Elria and her sister Variant Almatarian Consular Isis and her cousin and Procyon B envoy Eve and her husband will get out of the mothership and walk in Cleveland's public square and meet and greet humans, the Star Nation ambassadors on Earth. I will be there to receive and officially welcome to Earth the honorable Star Nation envoys. Alright, so again, be interesting what's going to happen out there in Cleveland today. And the last piece I have here for UFO news relations is, this is alien and UFO historian claims huge conspiracy. The historian is part of a trilogy of teasers released exclusively through a Vice by the director Jeremy Kenyon Locker Corbell. Truth Embargo is a film currently in production that follows 3 individuals on a quest to unravel the truth about an alleged non-human presence engaging humanity. Following a historic event, the citizens' hearing on disclosure at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., a journalist, historian, and an activist put it all on the line in an effort to uncover one of the greatest secrets from the beginning, secrets held from the human race. The fact that we are not alone is only the beginning. In this segment, the historian speaks about government secrecy regarding the extraterrestrial issue and alludes to information and controversial deathbed confession that set the intelligence and UFO community on fire last May. Allegedly anonymous, is an ex-CIA whistleblower. He seems to have worked for the U.S. government in a number of capacities and has been and continues to be vetted by top researchers in the field. His testimony will play a significant role in the final cut of Truth Embargo. So let me play this for you here. Now this is Richard Dolan, the gentleman right here you're seeing. He is the historian in question.
Going on here. There are other beings from points unknown or unconfirmed that have incredible technology that are here interacting with humanity on planet Earth for some kind of agenda. That's an existential matter right there. And it should be a matter of concern to every human being. Who are these individuals? Why are they here? What is their interest in us? They're obviously here for a reason, and why aren't they publicly, openly announcing themselves to us, by the way? There are probably very cogent reasons for this secrecy, all right? They're not hard to understand why. But the question becomes, how long is this secrecy going to last? It's not hard to see why secrecy on this matter began over 60, almost 70 years ago. It's not hard. But the problem is that secrets have a way of maintaining themselves and increasing themselves and growing. This particular interview we're about to do, this is a man who's in the U.S. military, who's had experiences, he says, relating to knowledge of ET, the ET presence here on Earth. We know he is who he says he was. His story is of great potential value. You know, if someone's trying to hoax us, trying to fake us out, could they have done enough research on their own to get the detail? And the answer is yes. You know, they probably could. You know, beyond subjecting him to a polygraph test that's going to tell whether he's lying or not, we're going to have to do our best to assess this man. I still believe in this quaint idea of freedom and self-determination. I don't want to give up on it in my lifetime. So I realize that full disclosure of this reality is probably going to be a real wild ride, and maybe not always a fun ride. But I look at the alternative and I see that as much worse.
All right, so this is from the movie Truth Embargo. And there you have it. That is our UFO news. I'll be right back. I've got a lot more news. Stay tuned.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth. People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of.
All right, continuing on. So we have ObamaCare issues. Here's some more things. You know, this article is kind of crazy because here in the United States of America, we know that we are having some challenges with jobs. There's a lot of people out of work. So you would think that if there were programs and job opportunities that were available, that Americans would be offered the job. Now, Americans aren't being offered the jobs, unfortunately, because we know that the website was contracted out to a Canadian group, a group that had been fired by the Canadian government. They were working on a gun registry database. They didn't succeed at that, and they certainly didn't succeed at the ObamaCare website. Well, I don't know why Americans weren't asked. Maybe Americans just understand that this Obamacare is really a wacky situation and don't want to be involved with it. So what did the administration do? They took the jobs to India. That's right, India. While everyone debates the policy points of Obamacare, few understand that billions of dollars in IT contracts are wrapped inside the law. To meet federal mandates, states must upgrade their legacy Medicaid management information systems. These IT contracts are some of the largest awards in state history. Last week, Governor Patrick Quinn became national news for circumventing a 3-year procurement process on up to $190 million in no-bid IT contracts. We now find that one of the largest bid contracts, MMIS awards, will outsource jobs to India. In June, Illinois Governor Patrick Quinn's administration awarded a 10-year, $71.4 million staffing contract to Cognizant Technology Solutions. Cognizant ranks in the national top 10 for producing H-1B visa workers. Evidence shows that the company is staffing operational headquarters in Chennai and Bangalore, India for the Illinois work. A research at OpenTheBooks.com highlights an issue that will be hotly debated in the contested Democratic primary for governor. So I'll leave the rest of the article for you, but so is it that Americans know that they don't want to be involved with Obamacare? And maybe they're turning down the opportunities. Maybe things were offered. I don't know the details of this. It just seems that there are jobs that are being outsourced out of this country. And it seems that we need to have some jobs in this country. It seems that it feels like there is a deliberate attempt to bankrupt this country and have people in this country unemployed. I don't see anything else. I mean, I see conditions that are going on, and I know you must see them too. It's just hard to understand why things are going on like this. And then look at this story here. Okay, we've seen Obama has been disrespectful to the military. Well, now Obama wants Marines to wear girly hats. Okay, this here is the hat that they currently have. He wants to change them to this. And they're not really too excited about that idea. But here's the crazy part. A change to the Marine Corps hats could take the hard-nosed leathernecks from the halls of Montezuma to the shops of Christopher Street. Thanks to a plan by President Obama to create a unisex looks for the Corps, officials are on the verge of swapping out the Marines' iconic caps with a new hat that some have derided as girly, so they would make them look like the French blush. We don't even have enough funding to buy bullets. The DoD is pushing to spend $8 million on covers that look like woman hats. One senior Marine source fumed to the Post. The Marines deserve better. It makes them look ridiculous. Okay? $8 million. We're told we're having budget problems, right? We're told that we have big problems, and now they're going to spend $8 million on hats? Can you see that there's really not a priority there to be helping the American people when you're spending money frivolously on situations like this? They don't need hats. The old hats are perfectly fine. So they shouldn't be spending that extra money that they're saying we don't have. Obviously, there's plenty of money. Obviously, the fact that they're telling you that there isn't is a complete lie, because they keep spending money on nonsensical things like new hats. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, Hillary Clinton, as you may know, is really getting a lot of grief for Benghazi, and there are people that are paying attention to what's going on. You may have heard some of the stories that are out of this Larry Nichols, who says he's been an assassin for Hillary Clinton for years. And as she goes around the country preparing for her 2016 election run, she's meeting with opposition at different places. Not everywhere, but some places. Here is one of those. You let them die. Hillary Clinton heckled over Benghazi terrorist attack during speech to university students. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton was relentlessly heckled over the Benghazi terrorist attack as she tried to deliver a speech at the New York University on Wednesday night. Clinton was speaking at the University of Buffalo as part of the university's Distinguished Speaker Series when a man in the crowd began screaming about the attack that left 3 people dead, including Libyan Ambassador Chris Stevens. Benghazi, Benghazi, you let them die, the man screamed as Clinton continued to give her speech. After 40 seconds of yelling, Clinton appeared to acknowledge the screaming man. We have been willing to come together as citizens to focus on the kind of future we want, which doesn't include yelling. It includes sitting down and talking to one another, she said sternly. The crowd then erupted with applause. See that? The crowd erupted with applause. So there still are a lot of brain-dead individuals out there. And it's sad that they're at a university. And it's sad that they're not paying attention to what Hillary is doing. And that's why she's going to run for office, because people are short-sighted in this country. They don't understand what's really going on. And if they just paid attention and they started questioning things, maybe there would be some more accountability. But only one person in that crowd had something to say, and then the rest applauded because they want to hear what Hillary has to say, because it's awesome that she's going to run for president. Forget about her involvement with all these crimes. Forget about the fact that there's an assassin out there that says he's been working for the Clintons for years. Let her go, right? It's nonsense. People, wake up. What are you doing? New York, what are you doing? I don't know. Don't know doesn't make sense. Here's something else that doesn't make sense. Remember that officer that sprayed those kids? Remember this? Remember this disgusting scene in this big old fat pig here? Spraying them down? Well, this guy got awarded for it. $38,000. Yeah, go figure, right? This guy violates their rights, sprays these kids. That's got to be some sort of abuse, definitely an abuse of power. And as he's doing this, he gets paid for it. A former UC Davis police officer whose pepper spraying of protesters gained worldwide notice thanks to a viral video has been awarded more than $38,000 in workman compensation from the university for suffering he experienced after the incident. Former police lieutenant John Pike, who gained a degree of infamy for his role in the incident, was awarded the settlement October 16th by the State Division of Workers' Compensation Appeals Board. The claim resolves all claims of psychiatric injury specific or due to continuous trauma from the applicant's employment at UC Davis. The incident resulted in a $38,055 settlement happened on November 18th. Okay, we all saw the videos of it. It's just ridiculous. Said he was suspended with pay afterwards, in which he earned 119,000. Wow. All right, so do you see the problem with this? But look, Lieutenant John L. Pike, former police officer, he shouldn't be getting any money. But here's the thing. See, Lieutenant Pike, Lieutenant John Pike, thinks he got off. Ha! You didn't get off, because now people know who you are. And people know that you turned the back on them. So when push comes to shove, please don't expect that the American people are going to step up to help you. Please don't, because they're not. Because you've shown yourself to be a terrorist by your activities, and the government went and awarded you, the university awarded you for your criminal behavior against their students. Are the students getting any compensation for their injuries? For the trauma that they went through? Probably not. Shameful. Remember, Lieutenant John Pike. You better watch yourself, John Pike, because the American people now know who you are, and don't expect them to be your friend. Don't expect them to be your friend. So you better learn how to fend for yourself, because you're going to find yourself in this world alone. Because everybody knows who you are now. You're just a jerk-off that's out there abusing kids. Do you have kids, John Pike? And if you do, would you like somebody treating them like this? Probably not. Another brain-dead cop. All right, today, as you may know, Congress is closed down, and they're being flown to Florida for a funeral, so they're probably there at this moment. Congress will shut down Thursday, and leaders have told lawmakers the Defense Department will fly them to Florida for the funeral of Representative C.W. Bill Young, who died last week. Okay, I did this story a couple days ago. I just wanted to refresh your memory about it so you knew what was going on there. And hopefully we're not going to hear any crazy stories that the Air Force jet that's flying them goes down, because then we're stuck with the jackass in the White House and no Congress, and then we really got a problem. So let's hope that this is another one of these stupid ploys to take out some good people. Well, I don't want to say Congress are good people, so let me rephrase that, because we know that they're selling us out. Let's just hope this is not a stupid ploy to throw power more to the presidential office. All right, we're going to switch gears away from all that nonsense, and I want to go here to the story. This is Genesis 18, Book of Genesis, chapter 18, and this is about Sodom and Gomorrah. There's some things here I wanted to read, and I thought that this would be very pertinent. It says, "And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat on the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood before him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself on the ground. He said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye in your hearts after ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, Do so, as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make the cakes of the hearth. And Abraham ran into the herd to fetch a calf tender and good, and gave it to the young man. And he hastened to dress it, and took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And then he said unto them, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind them. Now Abraham and Sarah were old as well, stricken in age, and it was ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed with herself, saying, I am waxed old, I have pleasure, my Lord being old also. And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I surely bear a child, am I old? Is it a thing too hard for the Lord at the time appointed? I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom. And Abram went with them to bring them on their way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham for the thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become the great and mighty nation, for all nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, and he commandeth his children and household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, and do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. And the Lord said, Because of the city of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence, and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there will be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are there within? That be far from thee to do in that manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, for that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answers and said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 in the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for the lack of the 5? And he said, If I find 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him again and again, Peradventure shall there be 40 found? And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto them, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, I will speak. Peradventure there be 30 found. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak to the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for the 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And the Lord said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Lord went away, and as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. Well, the point of this was, the beings were continually asked who had come down there if they would destroy, if they would protect the righteous. And as you could see, the number got all the way down to 10. And it even got to the point where we all know that Sodom was destroyed, Sodom and Gomorrah. So obviously 10 weren't found. It's too bad. But see, in this day and age where we're living, we have an opportunity to not be destroyed. Because in the same way that it was asked if there was 10 good people, and it was said that if there was for the sake of the 10, it wouldn't be destroyed. Right now on earth, there's a lot more than 10 good righteous people. Okay? So we're living in a different situation. We're not talking about one city that's completely corrupt. But we know there's a lot of corruption, but we also know that there's a lot of righteous individuals. And when you recall the words of the book of Enoch from yesterday, it's the righteous and elect are going to be blessed. So as we can see, this opportunity of change has occurred many times, an opportunity for the earth to, and cities and people on the earth to change their ways. So it appears that there are cycles that go around of just corruption, and that's where we're at again. We're going to have to answer for what's going on. And it's the wicked and the ungodly, not the righteous. And again, refer to this story here to see that this has occurred before. Who knows what's going to happen on the 24th when they come down today? Is this kind of the thing? Or if they come down, are they going to say, hey, where are the good people down here? They're going to meet a bunch of good people, which will be nice. Last time in this story here, they met Abraham. Now, I think if something comes down, ships come down, beings come down, they're going to meet a lot more than one person. You're going to meet a lot of very interesting people interested in what they have to say. All right. Remember the piece on the whistleblower who talked about the ships that are out there and how they've moved in, they've been watching them, and now they're in the backside of our moon? Well, this is Tolec, and if you recall, he's channels and says he's a channel for or a messenger for the Andromedans. Well, this is a piece. I'm going to play this section in here where he gets into discussing exactly what the whistleblower was talking about. So let's listen to this.
This is Tolec of the Andromeda Council. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2013. This update is about a recently released video dated October 20th, 2013, just 2 days ago, regarding a NASA outside consultant, a Dr. Eric Norton, which, by the way, is not his real name. He used this name to protect his privacy, regarding ships allegedly now located on the backside of our moon. The YouTube released video was called Breaking Whistleblower by a YouTube channel called Secure Team 10. That's the number 10. A number of you have asked me about this matter, and I was on my computer recently, and as I was wandering around on the web, I stumbled onto and finally found this video. And after receiving your inquiries and briefing the title, my intuition led me to watch it. After watching and listening to this video, I asked my guys, my Andromeda Council contacts, about the validity of this Dr. Norton's assertion. In short, here's what they said. Yes, the L-shaped ships are real. They are in fact docked on the backside of our moon. For the time being, they will remain docked there. No, there is no malintent on their part. They are simply part of a wake-up process for all of Earth's people, including high-level scientists, NASA government leaders, etc., etc. These people come from an area of space that we recognize from our Earth night skies known as the Andromeda Constellation. Their ships belong to people from the Alpheratz star system. That's A-L-P-H-E-R-A-T-Z, which is located in the Andromeda Constellation. The people in these ships are 3D, organic, very tall humans from another world. These people are not formal members of the Galactic Federation and or Andromeda Council. However, the Andromeda Council leadership did request them to come to Earth space due to the fact that they are 3D organic humans with some very advanced technology. They're good people, and most important, they have some screaming fast ships with the equivalent of what science fiction buffs might call warp drive, so that if or when any bad guys based on Earth might try an overt power grab sometime in the near future, these people from Alpheratz, much like the people from Procyon, will use their amazing technology, some pretty awesome firepower, and their screaming fast ships that can handle anything thrown at them. These people from Alpheratz are just one group of good guys, benevolent ETs, humans, collaborating with the member planets of the Andromeda Council who are coming here to Earth space, who will be standing ready to help and assist Earth people with the coming transition and transformation of this 3D world into becoming a higher dimensional world. So yes, in summary, the report of ships docked on the backside of our moon is a legitimate report. They are from the Alpheratz star system, and yes, they are the good guys. That's it for now. Kodakote. Peace to you all.
All right, so there's something for you to consider. Is it real? I don't know. But when we start to tie together all the stories, we certainly see we have a very interesting road ahead of us. And if I recall in the article on Dr. Boylan about the ship over Cleveland, I think they mentioned Procyon in there, which was he also mentioned beings from Procyon. Is there a connection? I don't know. We'll all find out together. We definitely will find out, but I think we're living in really cool, fascinating times. All right, here is a piece. It says, footprints of a time traveler are found. Look at that. The old 3 foot. Is that a slee stack? The probability that time travel is high, and once it achieved time travel, then exists over time. It says, knowing that the trip through time is possible in the universe is billions of years, it is conceivable that some other civilization has already manipulated time and perhaps even found ways to travel through it. It is even possible that humans someday create ways to travel backwards and forwards in time. If that's true, then time travel already exists. It says many of the artifacts are impossible, abandoned like trash, forgotten in the cellars of museums and natural history in the world. In the dark and dusty corners, stored along with other embarrassments of archaeology, are some of the keys of the greatest mysteries of mankind. Strange and unlikely artifacts are found, studied, and discarded, are more common than more people know. They have discovered 1,000 things to argue against the natural order that scientists have considered the official record of the birth of humanity. Among the artifacts studied by the astonished scientists and museum curators are the aluminum alloy screws dated back 100 million years. More surprisingly are thousands of engravings of machines, manufactured spheres found in Africa. The artifacts are estimated to be approximately 2.8 billion years ago, and the incredible list goes on and on. The author and the researcher Michael Cremo has written several books cataloging anomalous discoveries and documenting them with eyewitness accounts, original newspaper articles, and unaltered photographs. Many of the artifacts impossible discovered in the last 2,000 years still exist. They are gathering dust in the basements of some of the most prestigious natural history museums in the world. Okay? And maybe that there. Very interesting. And there's a lot more to this article. There's that image of the footprint embedded in granite, 500,000 years old. Okay? Look at those. What are these three toed things? It says human footprints next to dinosaur footprints. Alright, it's a lot of interesting stuff here, so go ahead and check out this article. And I'm going to play this piece here. This is Hilarion. This is today's message.
Hilarion's Weekly Message by Marlene Swetleshoff.
October 13th to 20th, 2013.
Beloved ones, the heavens smile down upon the earth as she moves into alignment with her destiny. Seen from the higher realms, the wonder of this movement is beyond reckoning. The celestial movements that are occurring and will continue to occur bring transformation of the highest order. The old ways are fast becoming just a dream, and new beginnings are ripe with potential. These are times spoken of through the ages, and it is now here at last. First it begins on the etheric energy levels and filters its way into every facet of life and living upon your planet. Profound change and transformation is wending its way into every cell of existence, and the earth is being prepared for a grand ceremony. All the teeming chaos that seems to erupt is only chasing the shadows as they go. Behind them comes something wonderful, something magnificent, something humanity has envisioned in its heart of hearts. The new reality is moving into place, and its movement into your lives is quiet, graceful, and filled with peaceful joy and contentment. More moments of the frequency of bliss and ecstasy are becoming more commonplace amongst those of you who have waited long for these moments. Tune in and tune up, dear ones, for this is only the beginning. Each soul discovers truly, all that was needed is within them, and they are the ones who make it happen in their outer reality. The denser energies are fast departing, leaving behind the anticipation of the new. Life is simultaneously accelerating and slowing down, for as you move into greater alignment with your own holy Christ self, you are attuned to your crystalline core, which resonates joyously with the new crystalline grid that hums and thrums and sings its joyous tones into the atmosphere and out into the universe. The realms of grace wash over the planet, and every particle of life is permeated with this glorious substance, this fiery love from Creator's heart. Love is the greatest force in the universe, and it opens up all hearts to beat as one as all inhabitants awaken to the remembrance of their own magnificence. You, beloved ones, are the catalysts, the ones who have created this momentous undertaking that looms poignantly before you. And the energies fall upon each of you and the rest of humanity as a benediction. The way forward is through your heart portal. The connection must take place within your heart. Breathe within through your heart, learn the heart breath. Become the benevolent and shadowless ones who walk the earth, blessing everyone and everything upon its surface and below. Let your constant refrain become, let me a blessing be, you are the anointed ones, who have endured many trials and tribulations, passed many grueling tests to arrive at this juncture. You are ready and you know what must be done when each moment arrives. The light is spreading exponentially across the face of your planet and it is unstoppable. You are that light, you hold the vision, the potential within your beautiful hearts and you rise into the heavens on angel wings. This is how heaven is anchored on earth and it begins in earnest. All human angels now unite their efforts to bring heaven on earth. Goodness begets goodness and magic is the order of each day. Open your eyes and see with your heart. Spread your wings and fly, children of the light. Rejoice and let your hearts be at peace. Until next week. I am Hylarion.
Alright, very nice message. You know, you ever put together a puzzle? I know it's a silly question because I'm sure everybody's put together a puzzle. So if we were just to imagine all the stories we hear, the channeled messages we hear, and we were to think of all of these as pieces of a puzzle that we are putting together, I'm sure by now you can imagine that with all of the different pieces we put together, we should be able to see a picture of what is transpiring. And what's transpiring is something pretty magnificent. We're going through a change. That's the consensus that's out there. We're going through a change. This change is happening on different energetic levels, and we're all experiencing it. Now, not everybody is in sync or believing that this is going on. There's a lot of deniers, a lot of skeptics out there. But there's a lot of those who are understanding and researching and finding out where we're going and what we're doing. So I know I keep saying it over and over, but I think that we're in some very fascinating times. And as we have seen and heard, these next couple months are going to be pretty exciting times. Between the UFO stories we're hearing, between the comets that are out there, and all of the government activities are taking place. Even though there's oppressions, there's opportunities for people to step up and rise above the oppressions. Okay, that's what we need to do. We need to step up. There's still this feeling of apathy going on in the world. Certainly here in America, sooner or later it's going to hit that point and there's not going to be any more holding the people back. People are going to have enough. Because remember, it's only a small minority of evil-minded individuals that are causing the problems. The greater majority of this planet outnumbers those problem makers millions and millions, hundreds of millions of times over, if not billions of times over. So all we need to do is stand up. All we need to do is stand up, step away from the fear that is being presented, because fear is just false expectations appearing real. They're trying to put it out there. They're trying to scare you. We just got to be smarter than that. The angel message for today says the worst is over and the best is yet to come. Trust and be loving to yourself and those around you. Well, that kind of fits right in with some of the things I was saying, that there are some really positive changes ahead of us. So let's just keep believing in the positive changes that are there, because that's part of the process of this evolution we're going through. We have to think about the good, because what we think about, we will create. If we keep thinking about the bad, we'll just create more bad. We don't want to do that. We want to think about good and create good. That's the best way to go. Let's go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. I want you to imagine that you are floating out in space looking at the earth. And as you look at the earth, you're able to see the goodness on the earth. And then you're able to see within the goodness the spots of darkness, the spots of negativity. And as you look around the world, you see that the goodness far outnumbers the negativity that is here. But you see that there is a pattern within this negativity, and that is the negativity is strategically placed around the world in such a way that the small numbers are able to get into the heads of the people and present ideas of fear and doubt. And as we look at this and we realize how out of balance this process is, we realize that the true power is with the people of the earth. And so we send down from the place where we're looking, we send down love, and we send down light into all these dark areas. And as we do, we imagine that the lines that connect the darkness and the negativity are severed. And once those lines are severed, and all those pockets of negativity are isolated, the light begins to surround them until the darkness is dissipated. And one by one, all of the darkness is gone, and the people who are numerous on this planet that have good intentions, they are the ones who rise successful. Imagine a world with all of this darkness and negativity gone. Imagine the possibility that those who are causing problems and chaos in the world, that miraculously something goes in and changes their hearts so that they begin to see the error of their ways and make immediate adjustments to fix them. Let's just imagine this for a moment. A world filled with nothing but goodness. A world where people are hopeful. Where people exercise faith. A world where people respect the planet. A world where people respect the connection to the great Creator. And though we are going through challenging times, though we walk through the valley of death, we are told not to fear, for the Lord is by our side with his rod and his staff to comfort us. So let us be mindful of the assistance, the goodness that is out there in the universe, and the goodness that is here on this planet. And know that goodness outweighs any of the other problems. So let's go into the world today thinking about the goodness that exists and seeing where goodness hides. And let's do what we can to encourage more goodness in the world. To turn away from the darkness and the doubts and the fears. So let our subconscious mind continue on that journey, seeking out the goodness. And let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment, happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Go ahead and take another deep breath. And exhale. And go ahead and open your eyes. That's it. That's the show for today, my friends. Thank you very much for being here. Let's just keep thinking positive thoughts. We can change this world into the world we want it to be. That is one of the reasons why we are here on this planet, to make a positive difference. There's too many good souls down here to allow all the other stuff to go, to all the darkness and negativity. Too many good souls, billions of good souls. So let us stand up with all of that goodness. Let's just see what happens. I know it's going to be pretty awesome. We just have to keep encouraging each other. Remember, we're all in this together. Thanks for being here. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. Have an awesome day, and I will talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.